What up, YouTube? This is JR Juggernaut1, and this is going to be my entry for CyberKnight8610's contest. So I'm going to go through the deck quickly, and then I'll explain why I think this deck is a great representation of my personality and duel style. So yeah, we'll start with the monsters. 2 Battle Faders. This card is awesome because it just protects me from OTKs, and it's just awesome because I can use it for Synchro Summoning or Tributing or whatever. Yeah, I could tribute for them for Caius. Also, yeah, keep in mind this is my current deck. It's no deck I made specifically for the contest, but I still think it's worth entering just because this it's unique. It's not like I'm running X Sabers and claiming it's my own creative deck. It accurately represents me. I just I just think it only makes sense that I use this deck. 2 Kais for removing. Nice beat stick. He's awesome in this format. 2 Lila, the offensive Lightsworn that I use. Just attack over my opponent's monsters or attack directly, then break a spell or trap. It's great bottomless fodder, I noticed, just because normally my opponent will be like, they're not sure if they don't want me to lose any spell or trap, so they'll just bottomless it so they don't have to worry about it. 2 Raikos, the defensive Lightsworn. Raiko, just flip it, destroys a card. Pretty straightforward. I mean, this guy Mills, he's one of the best tech choices right now. Just, I mean, hell, even Infernities can run this card their side deck, and it works wonderfully, believe me. 2 Dandelions, and this is like the wall of the deck besides the Battle Faders and Gorse. Just, this card just, it spams tokens. It's amazing. It just needs to go to 1. I don't want it to go to 1, but I know it should. But it's an amazing card. I'll know because I can spam the field of tokens, and especially thanks to this guy, 2 Debris Dragons. Bring Dandelion back. Go for a Synchro Summon, then get 2 more tokens. That's awesome. Plus, I can go Black Rose, nuke the field, and then I'll still have 2 tokens afterwards. I just love this card. The only thing I hate, though, is that you can't use level 4 monsters. Otherwise, I'd probably use a card like Summoner Monk, but you do what you can. 1 Super Nimble Mega Hamster. Anyone who saw the other builds of this deck know I used to run 3 Raikos and 2 Hamster, but I think 2 Raiko and 1 Hamster is much better. It's just easier to do. I mean, yeah, you have less targets. If you draw a Hamster and you already have like the Raikos in grave, it's harder to get to play. But at the same time, I feel like having so many Raikos and Hamsters, like having the 3 Raiko, having the 2 Hamster, I think it's too many. I just think this is better. And I think I've had better results thanks to it. So I'm just keeping it like that. Gorse is Gorse. I really shouldn't have to say anything else. Plaguespear Zombie for Synchro Summoning. Card Trooper for milling, beating on my opponent's monsters, and it lets me draw. Sangan for the search power. Just take back Debris Dragon, take Battle Fader if I'm in a tight spot, take Card Trooper, I don't know. I could take back a lot of different things, and that's nice. I just can't take like any of the boss monsters. Like I can't take Kai's, can't take this, my Chaos Sorcerer. Remove a Light in the Dark, get it out, and just be like, screw you, I'm removing your Stardust. 1 Dark Armed. Dark Arm's actually good, even though I don't run that many Darks. What I like about it is just that if you run Dark Armed in a deck like Black Wings, yeah, there's enough graveyard control, but all the monsters you run are dark. So if you draw this card at the wrong time, if you draw it late in the game, you're most likely going to have a lot of darks in the grave. So that can be a problem. With this deck, I find that most of the time, whenever I have it in hand, I won't have that many darks in grave. Even if I draw into it, I'll have like 3, 4, maybe even 5 at most. But thanks to like certain cards in this deck, I can control the amount of darks in grave more easily than in my other decks. So I like it. And finally, 1 Alchemist. Alchemist, solid card. It can be pretty ridiculous in the right situation, just because if I remove a card from my graveyard for, let's say, Chaos Sorcerer or Dark Armed, or if something gets bottomless, I can take it back with Alchemist. It's just very effective. I mean, if I'm afraid that they're gonna destroy it or like remove it from play or something, I'll just set it to be safe. I mean, it's just I mean, being able to take back a monster is just great. On to the spell. 2/5 Avarices for the recycling. 2 Book of Moons because it's so versatile. 1 Foolish Burial to ditch like my Dandelion or Plague or whatever I want, really. 1 Charged Light Brigade for my 4 Lights ones. 1 Cold Wave just to, if I want to set up a big play. 1 Line Control, Synchro Summoning obviously, you know. MST staple, Brain Control staple, and Heavy Storm staple. Now for traps quickly. 2 bottomless trap holes. 2 dimensional prisons. You know, amazing card. I'm so glad I'm running this. 1 Mirror Force. 1 Trap Dust Shoot. 1 Torrential. 1 Solemn Judgment. So, like, if I ever run a deck without this card again, I swear to God, I'm gonna go insane. And finally, a tech choice of mine, Compulsory Evacuation Device. I'm currently running this card because I realized being able to take a monster back to my hand can actually be pretty helpful. Plus, I can use it on my opponent. I mean, go compulse your Revived Plague. Compulse your, I don't know, compulse your Synchro Monster. Or I can compulse my Monarch, compulse my Chaos Sorcerer, compulse my Dark Armed Dragon, whatever I need to do. It's chainable, I tried using it today at my locals. It was pretty effective, I will admit, so I'm going to continue trying it out. And so there's the deck. Now, basically, I think this deck really shows off my personality because I consider myself to be a creative person, and I consider myself a guy who likes to run different decks. I mean, most of the time, I prefer to run a deck that it just is different from what other people are running. I don't, like, I ran Stardust Dragon Assault mode. That was like my first actual good deck. But when I ran that, that was like my own build of it. You know, it's not like there was a generic build at the time. Then I ran the Dandy Turbo. Then I ran, and now I'm running this. So I just think what I'm doing is just different. I know other people are like that too, and I don't have a problem with people like to run X-Sabers or like to run Blackwings or Glad Beasts or whatever. I'm just pointing out that I'm different, and I think that this deck shows it. But I think it also shows that I like, you know, it shows off a lot of the cards I really like. I really like Dark Arm, Plague Spreader Zombie, um, Chaos Sorcerer, Dandelion, Debris Dragon. It's Raikou. I noticed a lot of cards like I really like, you know, I just put them in this deck, and it just really works. It's very different because you're seeing a lot of different engines work in here, but hey, what can I say? I made it work somehow. I don't know how, but yeah, I have. I'm not saying it's the best deck ever, but it's an interesting strategy that works to some degree. I mean, I've been doing pretty well with it up until now. And I mean, I did really well in my locals today. True, I got pretty lucky, but it's not a bad deck by any means. You know, I was still able to play it right. And bottom line, it's also with my dual style, you know, I think I used to be more focused on being offensive and being aggressive. Uh, I just think with this deck, it shows how I now realize you have to be, you know, more protective and more defensive when the time, you know, when certain things, you know, in certain situations. I I run Raikou, I run Dandelion, I run Card Trooper, I run Battle Faders, you know, I run the Gores. It's just I realize there's just a lot more than just having cards to protect you from OTKs and having big beat sticks, you know. It's something I've had to learn the hard way, and I think this deck shows that I've really learned that whole idea and really absorbed it. So I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys like this video. I hope Cyberknight610 really likes my entry. I hope I don't get any crap for using my own deck, but again, I just think this is the right deck to be showing off. You know, it's something different. It's something somewhat new. I don't know how new, how creative, but I really like it. So this is JR Juggernaut 1 signing out. Peace, guys.